What's going on, everybody? It's me, Brandon, back again with another episode, and today we are talking about streaming, the digital future, what it means to get rid of physical media like movies and video games and all that other stuff. I wanted to talk about this because I even said on the channel in the past that I have been okay with getting rid of physical games. I don't want to foresee like new PlayStation 5 games, Xbox Series S games, and even the Nintendo Switch games. I don't need them physical anymore. I prefer digital, and I really do like digital. However, as time keeps going on, I am starting to see a little bit more of this digital age, and it is a little concerning. So Best Buy announced maybe about a month or two ago that in 2024 they are getting rid of physical media in terms of Blu-ray movies and all of that other stuff. So if you know, I have talked about movies for a while on this channel. I haven't talked about it recently. I've been mostly focused on video games, but I love movies. Last year, or maybe 2022, I donated all of my physical Blu-ray collection. I got rid of it all. I just donated it, didn't even think about it, didn't want to sell it. Figured somebody else could use this. I have a decent digital library, and I'm okay with that. Now, I do keep a couple movies physically, and I do buy a couple movies physically, and I have a couple examples here. But for example, here are the first two. So I really love the company Scream and Shout Factory. I believe they're the same company, just another tier to their service or whatever. But this is They Live, the John Carpenter 4K release, and I love this movie. I saw this movie, purchased it, fell in love with it, and then my friend even got me the special edition. I love it. It's perfect. It's everything. I love steelbooks. I love the collectible aspect of them. I don't even know if I have opened this one up yet. Yeah, I did. So they're really cool, and they show a piece of ownership and a piece of fandom that you can put on your shelf, and I love that so much. And the other series here that I have, I don't even think it's possible to be watched in America unless you subscribe to their service, which is under Shout Factory. And these are actually published by two different companies. So I just got these in the mail yesterday. And these are Kamen Rider Black and Kamen Rider Black RX. These are a full series. I think they're on 5 discs, 51 episodes a piece. This one's 47 episodes on 4 discs, and I love this stuff. As I've mentioned, I love Power Rangers, and this is something similar. It's a little bit more my speed, honestly. It's a little bit more mature. It's a little bit darker. I love the subject matter. And then Shout Factory. So let me backtrack here. This was made or published by Discotech Media. These two, and they are different from these two, which were published and produced by Shout Factory. So this is Kamen Rider 01, and then this is Kamen Rider Kuga. I first got into Kamen Rider through Kuga. Bought this on a whim, fell in love with it. This shit is amazing. And ever since this, I've been a really big fan of Kamen Rider. I want to get every series if possible whenever they come over to America. They're subtitled. They're incredible experiences, and if it's something up your alley, it's well worth it. But I love these. These you can only buy on Blu-ray. I think you can get a streaming service, but you can't purchase these series digitally. Like, I can't go on Vudu and buy these. And something like this, I actually like to own physical because, again, it shows a little bit of that fandom. I have a bunch of Godzilla films on Blu-ray. I can get some of them on Vudu, but also having them physically and then on the shelf, it looks so cool. And I have a little anime collection. My Kamen Riders are in there as well, and same thing with my Godzilla films and my other monster movies. Like, I have the original King Kong on there and some other movies as well. If we're gonna go ahead and talk about some cool things that physical movies have, obviously it is the cool cover art And of course, like I said, sometimes there's cool steelbooks, sometimes there's really cool, interesting bonus features on these discs. Right here is Mandy, Nicolas Cage film. I really loved this movie, and I actually did own it physical a while back, and I donated it. But this was a piece that I wish I kept, or I may have it somewhere. I don't know. I always wanted the steelbook. I love this cover. This was actually an alternate cover art for the movie if you bought it physically on Blu-ray. So I saw the steelbook, and I was at Best Buy months ago, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna pick it up. It was like $10. Steelbooks are a really good reason. A lot of people still collect physical media. They like the collector aspect of them. For a while, people were going nuts for the MCU steelbooks. They wanted an entire MCU collection full of steelbooks. I tried it. Didn't like a lot of the designs. Again, sold the ones that I didn't want, and unfortunately it just wasn't for me. But there are still some sweet steelbook designs that are really cool. As I was mentioning before with the slip covers, you got really cool slip covers. This is Transformers, the movie, the 80s film. I fell in love with this 4K release with the box art and the slipcover. I think it looks beautiful. And again, there's a bunch of bonus features on here that sometimes don't even carry over to the digital libraries, like Vudu, like Apple. I'm not sure if Apple still gets a lot of the features, but I know Vudu definitely gets a chunk of them, but sometimes you don't get all of the features that would be on a disc or a bonus disc. There's also some additional packaging and additional cool goods or features or whatever, and here's a cool one. This is the Halloween re-release that happened a couple years ago. I love this set. So I have Halloween and Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and this is in a cool like slip cover. It's in a nice, like, I don't know, but it feels really nice. It's matte finish. I love how this looks, and this is again another really cool feature. And if you're a fan of the movies, they have something to show off, that you have this cool looking box art and all these different aspects of something that you can really appreciate and have on a shelf and build your collection. Be like, hey, you walk into this guy's house, you know, he likes said movies or whatever. But they get better as box sets happen, and there's different companies that release different types of things. Right here is an Arrow release of An American Werewolf in London. This film is insane. I wanted this film for a while. I haven't seen it, and I remember on Amazon maybe a year or two ago, they were like, we're gonna do a re-release, we're gonna put it on 4K, we're gonna do a nice big box set. And I was like, my time is now. I'm finally gonna watch this movie, and I fell in love with it as I expected. And of course, Arrow does wild releases like this. I also have a Donnie Darko box set that is very similar. And with this, you actually get the movie and all of the bonus features, but you get sometimes like a really cool poster, and you get a full book full of like director commentary, specific scenes that are shot, and it's just really cool to get these bonuses and a little look behind the camera for some of these films. Some other editions, like Blu-ray movies, get cool lenticular covers. This is Dragon Ball Super, the Broly film, and I don't know if it shows up on here, but this is a full-blown lenticular. This was a Walmart exclusive, I believe, and I think when I went to go pick it up, it was the last one. And again, 45 minutes of bonus features. This movie was insane, and I love bonus features. I've never really watched a commentary, but sometimes they're available. So if you really love that movie, sometimes you can go ahead and hear the director's direct thoughts on the film, and maybe even some of the actors tune in and also add a little bit of their knowledge as well. So outside of the physical things, the steelbooks, the collector's editions, the limited editions, the lenticular covers, all of that, what is up with streaming right now? Now, as I said, when I donated all of my Blu-ray collection about a year and a half ago, I was okay with that because almost every film I had a digital version on Vudu. Vudu is my preferred choice of streaming service. I have a wide selection. I think I have over 300 titles, 300 films, and more. And Vudu honestly is a great, reliable source. However, as everybody keeps talking about this digital future where it's like, oh, you need to be okay with not owning your movies or your digital libraries, I get a little more concerned. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to go ahead and purchase every single Blu-ray that I've seen of a movie. I'm not going to do that again. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But I really would wish that we would get some concrete proof of, like, you don't own these things or you do own these things. Because I know that since I own Kamen Rider Black and Kamen Rider Black RX on DVD, as long as the power doesn't go out, these are my copies. Like, I can use them freely. I will never lose them in a snap of the fingers if that ever happens. I own all of these discs and they will always work unless, you know, they bust or something like that. I'm very curious to see how this goes with the digital future, as I also am a huge PC gamer. I have a vast collection of PC games on my Steam library, and I love playing my Steam. I love playing my Steam Deck. I love playing on PC, and I have so many games to play and so many games that I'm currently playing and I'm enjoying. What would happen if they just said one day that, you know, you don't own that, goodbye? And that has been the thought lately, I guess, as consoles and big companies are saying that you just don't own your stuff. And that concerns me a little bit, because as somebody who adopts into the digital future and who is really comfortable with digital video games, I love playing my digital video games. I can even take a console somewhere and my games are all right there, and it is awesome, and I don't need to put in a disc anymore or find that really expensive copy at GameStop for no reason and then whatever. But I'm just curious to see how this streaming future works with the digital libraries. What is cool though is that sometimes with Vudu, I'll have old resolution software. So I'll have standard definition films from years ago, and I'll get a random email saying, hey, we see you have standard definition. We're just gonna go ahead and upgrade that to 4K, no charge. And I think that is really cool, and that's something that is much needed. Especially that I don't expect it, but a lot of the time when you're buying all of these movies and, you know, all of a sudden a new format comes out, a 4K format, and sometimes they come out for that thing. Like, I am perfectly okay with an HD version of Kamen Rider. These are standard definition when they came out, and they got an HD bump and they look good. But I'm not asking for a full-blown crisp 4K of these series. Give me a nice 1080p, let it work, and I'm okay with that. When it comes down to these types of movies where you get these big releases, like you get the Halloweens and you get an 8K and they expect you to purchase the 8K. You get a whatever 16K down the line and they expect you to purchase that. You're basically rebuying the same movie over and over and over again. And I've done it a bunch of times where you get Jurassic Park on VHS, you get Jurassic Park on DVD. They made a special edition of Jurassic Park on DVD. You buy that. Then the Blu-ray comes out. You buy the Blu-ray, and then now we have 4K. You have the 4K. You get what I'm saying. And that is the biggest problem I have just with movies in general. And even they do it with video games. I don't have an example here, but especially during the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 generation, that's when it started. Hey, we remastered Jak and Daxter. Buy it here. PS4. Hey, we remastered Jak and Daxter. You can go ahead and now play it on your PS4. Buy it here. PS5. Now, thankfully, there's cross-compatibility with the last-gen consoles. So if you owned it on PS4, it works on PS5. But you see what I'm saying. And now we're even getting versions of The Last of Us. Came out in 2013 on a PS3. Hey, The Last of Us came out remastered on PS4. You can buy it now. Hey, The Last of Us is getting a remake. A game that's not even, well, now is 10 years old, but we're getting a remake of a game that came out in 2013. You can pay $60 for that or whatever. Buy it now. See what I'm saying? We're getting new visuals, we're getting a new restoration and new updates to it, but it's like we're just regurgitating the same purchases over and over and over again. And while the 4K transfers of old movies look genuinely awesome some of the time, this is crazy. So I love when digital libraries like Vudu go ahead and they're like, hey, we got you. We see that copy of Shrek 2, standard definition. You watch it on FX all the time. We're just gonna go ahead and upgrade it to you for 4K for free. That's really cool. I love that stuff. So, oh man, that is crazy. I've been thinking about digital stuff for a while now, and I've actually been wanting to talk about some of this other stuff as well. But the digital libraries is something I wanted to tackle, and I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface here, but this is just a rough idea of what I'm talking about with the digital future and how it works, some of the things I like about the physical media and all that other stuff. Still, I will probably be talking about this more in the future, but that is it. So that's it for this episode today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think about the digital future. Do you prefer the streaming services? Do you like Game Pass? Do you like all of that stuff? I'll probably talk about those because I didn't even scratch the surface with that. Mostly saying goodbye to physical media, and the struggle of still keeping physical media is the big thing for me right now. These services, they can come and go. I don't need to watch everything, as I find YouTube honestly pretty enjoyable by itself, but that's a whole conversation for another day. Please let me know in the comments down below what you thought about the video, and as always, my name is Brandon, and I will see you all next time.